Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hanan Al-Sammak podcast. Joining us today is an Emirati holistic coach redefining what true health really means. Her journey began while supporting a loved one through chronic illness, leading her from nutrition and fitness into deeper healing that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit. Blending science with traditional practices like Ayurveda, yoga, sound healing, and energy work, she helps people reconnect with themselves, nature, and ancestral wisdom, guiding them toward balance, clarity, and lasting well being. Shahad Al, super excited to have her with us today. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
And I love your journey, Shahad, that you integrate both and all body, mind, and spirit. And for someone who is new to their inner work, who just began, how do they start reconnecting with all the three aspects and what does it even mean?
I would say everything is connected, and we don't often realize that because we have a lot of distractions. So, just spending time with yourself, and I want to say meditating, but I know meditation can sound a little bit intimidating for some people because they think they have to be this monk and not on like a top of a hill under a tree. But that's not actually true. You can just be in a meditative state without sitting and crossed legged with your hands in a mudra. You can meditate with washing the dishes or folding clothes while driving, even if the road is half empty. Just being in a meditative state of the mind and just being inwards, being with yourself, not listening to the outside noise, whether it's people, music, anything outside, just being inwards. That's when you
Mm,
really connect with yourself and your intuition, and you gain self awareness of the things around you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I want to know, I'm curious to know what has been the most redefining moment, let's say, or a surprising insight that had shifted your perspective on what healthy truly means.
Sure. When I started looking about health and wellness, the first two things you find are nutrition and fitness
Yeah.
and exercising. And those are very important, and I don't want to take away from that. But after some time of eating really healthy and exercising daily, I realized that health is more than that. Health, the root of health, is not the physical things, it's your emotions and your thoughts. And we don't think about those things because we can't touch them, we
Mm,
don't see them, but they actually create the effects of how you perceive your food that you're eating, how you choose the exercise that you're doing. So the emotions and the thoughts are really the root of our health, and they can manifest and develop into something physical after.
hmm Yeah, I've noticed that many people focus, like you said, on exercise and
Mhm.
nutrition, and this
Yeah,
is crucial. This is
it's
part
important.
of
Yeah.
our lifestyle.
Mhm.
But at the same time, cultivating inner clarity and emotional
Mhm.
clarity is very important. How do you
Absolutely.
guide your clients to reach that level?
So, a lot of my clients actually come to me again for the nutrition aspect,
Mm.
which is something that I studied and I do help people with. But I realized again, because nutrition is just the outside, the root is your emotion. So, if you're overeating because of an emotion. If you have a dish in front of you, you can eat it and it can be completely fine. But for someone else, it can trigger that, oh, if I eat this, I'm going to gain weight. And I see this around me all the time. I enjoy a piece of cake every now and then,
Me too.
but and it's beautiful, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd see this person who's like, oh, I can't eat this, I'm gonna gain weight. And that's the emotional and the thought process of how they perceive their food,
Mm.
which afterwards, if they do eat it, they might gain weight just because they thought of that.
Mm.
So there is a lot that goes into it, and the cravings of food, because I've managed to eat healthy for a very long time, and I really enjoy eating healthy. And a lot of people look at me and they're like, how do you eat that? It's not appetizing for
Mm-hmm.
them. For me, I'm enjoying it. I'm not eating it with thinking, oh, this is not fulfilling. Oh, this is
Yeah.
not good. So the emotional aspect of how you perceive your food and the thoughts you have about your food are crucial to how the food is being digested in the body.
Absolutely. And I remember one of my healers used to tell me if you want to eat something, for example, a bit fatty and like
Hmm.
you're craving pasta, let's
Yeah.
say, or like fried chicken,
Hmm.
don't feel guilty
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
it.
Hmm.
Just enjoy it
Hmm.
and then you can burn it afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe that emotions also played a huge role in how we perceive things and how we also how we regulate our nervous system.
Hmm.
And I love part of your work is that you do a lot of emotional processing, and
Hmm.
this is very central to your approach.
Yeah.
For someone who is a beginner in inner work, how can they start releasing emotion blocks? And before that, what do you think are the common emotion blocks that we suffer from nowadays?
Mhm. So the E in emotion stands for energy and motion. So it's about acknowledging that this is an emotion and it needs to move. It's okay to have emotions, whether they're negative, positive, neutral, or anything in between.
Yeah.
We look at some emotions as negative, and you hear the term, oh, don't be emotional, don't overreact. And this is, I think, the worst thing you can tell anyone,
Yeah.
because there is no emotion that's too much. There is an emotion that maybe someone can't understand because they haven't been in your place, but you're very much right. And it's within your right to have that emotion and feel that emotion. And maybe your capacity to feel that emotion is higher than the people around you, so they can't really relate. But you're not too dramatic, you're not too emotional. You're just having a human experience where you feel an emotion intensely because you're able to feel. And this is a gift, to feel something, to have the capacity to feel those sometimes really difficult emotions.
Yeah.
That's a gift that people sometimes don't relate to, but you're not wrong for feeling it. They just have a different capacity of feeling that emotion.
Mm.
So, understanding that we're different with how much emotion we can handle. And whatever emotion you're able to handle, that's the right amount of emotion. It's not too much, it's not too dramatic. So, just feeling that, that's step one.
Mhm.
And again, bringing the motion back to it, you need to process it with motion. And
Mm.
motion can look different for almost everyone. It looks different for me every day. Breath work is, let's say, the easiest one because we're always breathing, but sometimes
Yeah.
we do it on autopilot.
Mhm.
So just to consciously breathe through the tummy and allow the feeling to breathe with you and move, that's very powerful. Crying is another thing. I love crying. We look at crying as a negative thing. Crying is amazing to
Yeah.
move the emotion. And crying, by the way, the tears that you have in your eyes are different when you're crying because you're sad, or crying because you're happy, or crying because you're cutting onions, or
Yeah.
anything like that.
True.
Like, science actually measured the cortisol level of our tears, and they're different depending on what emotion are you crying of or
Mhm.
because of.
Mhm.
So crying is another good one. Exercise is amazing. You should exercise. So whether it's yoga or running or working out, I mean, I know people that have been through intense emotional pain and then they start working out, and they never worked out a day before, and all of a sudden they start working out and they really enjoy it and their body change because that emotion pushed them to move their body.
Mhm.
I want to speak about running because running is not my favorite thing. A lot of runners are literally running away from their emotions. So for a little bit, they are running and moving that emotion, but at some point, because running is not wrong, I don't want to say that.
Mhm.
If you feel the need to run, you should run. But are you running every single day like a crazy amount of kilometers?
Mhm.
That's when it becomes you're just chasing the dopamine and you're not really allowing the feeling to go through you and move through
Interesting.
you. Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Hmm.
And now that you say it,
Yeah.
yes, my favorite part of exercise is walking. I love
Yeah.
taking long walks.
Yeah.
Just clears my body, and I do transform after. Like when I get in the car, I
Hmm.
feel so different than when I came.
Yeah.
But you're right. When I start running, it's because I have something I just don't want to think about.
Hmm.
So it's like what you said. I am
Yep. It's
running
like
from that thought.
turn it off and just run and get
Yeah.
some dopamine because running does give you the happy hormones, just like a lot of other exercises.
True.
But it's literally running away from the problem. It's not solving the problem. And sometimes it's okay to run away from the problem. Like sometimes you need that. If you feel the need to run, run. But how long are you running for?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you need to turn back and face it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. And I believe people have problem with facing their issues.
It's difficult. It's not easy to do. Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to do, but it's like I always use this metaphor. I mean, there's a boogeyman in my closet,
Yeah.
and I know he's there for so many times. These are my unprocessed emotions, my negative things that I have on my body, on my self-image, and one day I'm gonna have to start opening that closet and just look him in the eye and say, "Okay, I'm ready to talk to you. Let's." And I think this is what shadow work is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can ignore it for a while because you have other stuff to do. I understand that. But at some point, you have to do it because otherwise it will stay there forever.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not. It's not. And it's
No.
going to accumulate.
Absolutely. The emotion is non physical, but if you leave it for a long time, it can manifest into a physical and it can create pain in the body. And if you ignore that pain, it can develop into a disease. So you need to face it. Otherwise, you're getting sicker and sicker. Ignoring it doesn't fix it, it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that your work, Shahad, is always drawn from ancient wisdom and nature's rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are the top lessons that we can learn today from those ancient healing practices
Yeah.
for our modern life?
Yeah. I think ancient people had it really good, and we don't think about that. We think, oh, we live in such a modern, time and we have everything we need and it's so convenient. And yes, that's true. But our ancient ancestors had a lot that the wisdom kind of didn't travel through, or it did, but it kind of got lost somewhere. So
Mm.
it's very beautiful and empowering really to connect with that, because people back in the day spent time in nature like it's a normal thing. They more or less lived in nature. The house is the last thing you go to just to sleep. You hang out outside, you see your friends outside, you work, and whatever crafts they would do, it was outside.
Mm-hmm.
And they always lived in communities is something that we don't even think about when we talk about health, but humans are social animals. We need other humans.
True.
We need to have those close relationships and feel like we're part of a community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. And we need to feel like we're part of a community. That's why when we're isolated, this is when we start manifesting, dark thoughts and
Yeah.
diseases. And I do believe it's important to have that alone time to just reflect and digest on
is.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, don't forget that you
You're
must be
part of
part of a
something.
good
Yeah.
community as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, also being around the toxic people is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what are some, let's say, easy techniques for someone to deal with toxic environments or toxic people from your own perspective?
I would say leave it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the running away, but it's not actually running away. It's isolating from negative, because it's negative vibrations. And if you are next to negative vibration, you may go down to it. So leaving, being with yourself, meditating, even if you don't want to meditate in like the stereotypical look of meditation. You can wash your dishes or do anything that's just gets you in a right headspace where you can get some clarity. And each situation is different, of course, but you go back, you face it, you speak your truth respectfully, and yeah, just be who you are.
Yeah.
And the way to be who you are is to connect with who you are, because sometimes we actually lose our identity when we're surrounded by so many stimulants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why part of your work is to connect with ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why body, mind, and spirit is very important to integrate all these aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said about meditation, and it has that kind of stereotype into how you're supposed to meditate.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like Shahad, energy work
Mm-hmm.
is often overlooked and misunderstood, not just in our culture, but also people who only believe in science. And I've been studying energy work since 5 years now, and I haven't read any piece of information that wasn't even backed by science or quantum
Absolutely.
physics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all connected. We
Yeah.
fight over the same word, but we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So, how do you think energy work supports wellness in general?
So one of my favorite inventors, philosophers, and the list goes on, is Nikola Tesla. And one of his famous quotes is, if you want to understand the secrets to the universe, you have to think in terms of energy and vibration. And he's a scientist. So when we think of vibration, a lot of us don't know that much because we didn't study it in school. But what we did study in school is music, and vibration is measured by hertz, which is a unit that we can measure. And sound healing, for example, which is one of the things I practice and provide, is music in some sense. So hearing those high vibration music can elevate your energy. It's like holding a cup of hot tea, and the cup is hot, my hands are cold. There is an energy transfer between the heat in the cup and the coldness from my hand. So I'm getting warmer because I'm holding the cup, And eventually the cup will get colder because it's in a cold environment.
Yeah.
If I'm in a really cold environment, it could even freeze. If I'm like in somewhere like really snowy and cold.
Yeah.
If I was in a sauna, it will stay warm. So the energy transfer and vibration transfer is a real thing that we can study and see even with a hot cup and a cold environment. So when I'm listening to high vibration music or sound healing, I can elevate and transfer the energy between me and the sounds around me and elevate and therefore heal in a sense. Even emotions have a vibration. We don't think about that. Again, something we didn't study in school. But emotions can be measured with hertz. Words have a vibration. Everything around us really has a vibration because everything is vibrating. The cells vibrate, the atoms vibrate. So when we think about that, there is always vibration, and you can measure the high vibration and the low vibration. And you can see how you can be around the high vibration to elevate. This is where being around toxic people lowers your vibration. So the first step is to isolate, is to go away. And it's not running away. It's just isolating for a while to be in a good space. And then you come back and face it. And sometimes you don't even need to come back because it just goes away because there is no vibrational match.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. You got me thinking also. And I love how you're supporting this because so many other coaches, let's say, they're always with, you need to forgive, you need to face, you need to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not my time now. Maybe
Yeah.
it's okay not to forgive now.
Mm-hmm.
And I should accept it first. Accept that this is happening. Accept that, for example, one of my closest friends wants to harm me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be in denial. It's okay to isolate yourself. It's okay to process what is happening right now. And then I can be in the right headspace and come back to it. So I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For someone, Shahad, feeling lost, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like
Mm-hmm.
they're always in fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime someone says something, they want to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Or anytime someone says something, they just, they want to hide for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
What are some 3 tools you would say from your own experience they can start integrating today?
Mm-hmm. I would say if someone is overwhelmed, they are allowed to feel overwhelmed. That's step one, feeling and accepting, like you said, where they are. If they feel lost, just accept that you're lost. Because if you're like, oh no, I'm not lost, then you'll never find your way. But if you accept that you're lost and feel whatever emotions are coming, negative, positive, it doesn't matter. You have to feel the emotion. And then you alchemize it and move to the next step. Then you can find the way. Then you can feel less overwhelmed and, know the next step. But the first step is really to acknowledge it, feel it, allow it to be true, allow it to go through the body. And, again, bringing the motion. You can exercise, you can sing, you can cry, you can dance. Those are, again, ancient wisdoms. People used to sing and dance all the time.
Yeah.
It was normal. It wasn't a musical. It wasn't theater.
True.
So just allowing it, that's the first step.
I love that.
Yeah.
Allowing it. And then do you believe of course, it's important for someone to have supportive community, especially when they're going through their own healing journeys. But do you think we can do it alone?
I think, unfortunately, a lot of us think we're doing it alone. Like, I did most of my journey with myself, and that's true. I did it with myself.
Me too.
Yeah, but in some sense, I wasn't alone because, yes, I had some teachers, and sometimes they were more available than others. But it's also everything around us is holding space for us, even if we don't realize it. Even if it's that toxic person that's kind of, giving you the negative energy, they're kind of holding space for you. They're kind of guiding you through sending you those signals that trigger you. And then you think about it, and then you process it, and then you move to the next stage. They're a teacher in some sense, And this is also why I like nature, because nature truly does hold space. And I mean, I feel alone most of the time. So I know I'm not alone, but sometimes I do feel alone. And being in nature just reminds me I'm actually not alone. the trees that are alive, the flowers, the birds, the bugs,
Yeah.
like the little lizard going in between, with the trees.
Yeah.
So there is actually a lot of things around us and a lot of forces that we don't see, the invisible hands, you can say, that are holding you and supporting you on your journey, whether they're showing you that they're supporting you or they're, the negative person that's kind of triggering you. They're also supporting you. So you're truly never alone.
I love that. And I love your
Yeah.
perspective on negative people. That's true because
They teach you a lesson.
they teach you a lesson. They're like a reflection of,
Yeah.
and they help you elevate and level
Yeah.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They will stay stuck, but you will move forward because of them. So thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I passed the test.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you said that when you pass the test and then you come back, you're misaligned.
Mm.
So they will no longer
Yeah,
trigger
there's
you.
no match. Yeah.
Yeah, so the more you level up, the more you meet people who are in the same certain vibrations.
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay, what do you think are two lessons you learned from your journey that really helped you level up?
I would say most of my life, I didn't feel like I have that confidence that I can do it. And I questioned a lot of things and always asked for advice. And asking for advice is very helpful, obviously. But to realize that I actually know I have intuition, there are forces around me that are supporting my journey. And whatever choice I take, even if it's like the mistake, it's actually not the mistake. It's the lesson that I need to learn. So, if I go back, I wouldn't do anything differently because all of the things, even the tough ones, were supporting me to, again, elevate and be better. So, just to know that you actually got it. Like, you have all the tools, all the power, all the knowledge. Even if you don't know a lot of things, you actually do have the knowledge to support you and just do whatever you're supposed to do. You'll get to the same destination no matter what. So just, knowing and trusting your inner wisdom and going with just that. You don't need a lot of help from the outside. You need the community, but you don't need their help in a stereotypical way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're all with, having that inner compass and actually trusting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main thing, like trusting it, because you
Mhm.
always have it. It's just you question it and you're like, no, but that's not logical. It doesn't need to be logical.
It doesn't. And I do believe, absolutely, I agree with you because at the end of the day, we are souls, right? In a human body.
Exactly.
And so I always believe, and this is part of faith. Sometimes you need to believe in the unknown. Most of the time, you need to believe in the unknown.
Yeah.
And then, like with time, you're going to start connecting the dots.
Yeah. This is why being lost is a great gift because you realize that you're lost and then you start learning. Yeah.
I love that, Shahad. This was amazing. How can people experience your beautiful work and sessions? Where can they reach you?
Thank you for that. So my username everywhere is The Emirati Coach. My email is theemiraticoach@gmail.com. They can DM me or send me an email. I'm available.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I truly wish you a beautiful journey ahead.
Thank you so much for having me.